Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 Episode 1 debuted today on Disney+, and all I can really say is that Clone Force 99 is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Let's talk about that right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to another Star Wars video. My name is Joker and today we're going over my review for Episode 1 of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. So I've been extremely excited for Season 7 of Clone Wars to come out, which is odd considering when Clone Wars first came out, excluding the movie of course, I really had a hard time getting into it. I don't know what it was, but the story was so sporadic and so random, and it wasn't until recently that I learned that there is actually a chronological order in which you watch it, starting in Season 3 of all places. Kind of weird, but it was really hard for me to get into, and I found more of an attachment to Star Wars Rebels than I did with Clone Wars. Everyone says I'm weird for that, but I mean, hey, it's an opinion. And even after Season 6 came out on Netflix, I was still intrigued and I wanted to watch it, but for some reason I just couldn't get into it. And since they had this final season announcement for Season 7 coming to Disney+, I figured I might as well give it one more try and not just put it to the side. And I somehow managed to watch all 6 seasons of the Clone Wars in about 2 weeks' time, and I regret nothing. So going into the first episode of Season 7, you can really tell a lot of time has passed between the end of Season 6 and the beginning of Season 7, simply because some of the character designs are a little different. Anakin now has his full-length Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith hair. Now his hair was long in the original Clone Wars series, but it was just not shoulder length to the point where you know exactly where he was going to go from here. You always thought it was going to be a little bit more, and a lot of the characters did age over time, especially Ahsoka Tano. However, Obi-Wan Kenobi for some reason just is ageless. I don't know what it is, but his character design is just so perfect they didn't have to change him at all. But speaking of being perfect and imperfect, the first episode of this season gives us a great introduction to a new batch of characters called Clone Force 99, otherwise known as the Bad Batch. This is a small commando group of defective clones that had birth defects throughout their training, and they're very different from the clones we see now. And it was given the name Clone Force 99 out of honorable respects to Clone 99, who was one of the maintenance crew members on Kamino. He was amazing. If you haven't seen those episodes, go watch them, you'll cry. So Clone Force 99 introduces us to 4 new clone commandos, including their leader, Hunter, Wrecker, who is basically an actual heavy trooper. I mean, he's massive. He's twice the size of all the other clones there, and he has extremely unreal strength. He's basically the Hulk. There is Tech, who is more of the technical, nerdy side, I guess you could say. He's more adept with all of the electronics and hacking into mainframes and stuff like that. And then there's the silent sniper, whose name is Crosshairs, and what's probably going to be one of my favorite characters because snipers in all forms of media and in video games are my favorite thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how the Bad Batch progresses throughout the season and what each of these characters brings to the table. So the overall arcing story of this episode is that Clone Commander Cody has discovered that they've come to a bit of a standstill on the planet Anaxis, and that the Separatist forces seem to be outmaneuvering the Republic at every turn. Captain Rex believes that the Separatists have hacked into their mainframe perhaps, or have gotten around to some of their clones and gotten information on their battle tactics, and they're being used against the Republic. And because of this, the Republic cannot move any closer to their goal because the Separatists keep cutting them off at every turn. Because of this, they want to go through an investigation, so Commander Cody calls in Clone Force 99, the group of clones that have a slightly different way of doing things, but however have a 100% success rate on every mission. The interesting part of this comes out of the fact that Captain Rex talks about how he and Echo were the ones that talked about all of the tactics front and back and are the reason for all of the battle plans that the Republic has. And since apparently it was questionable about Echo's death back in Season 3, Captain Rex believes that Echo may still be alive and he may be being used and tortured to give the Separatists all the information on the Republic's tactics. So Captain Rex and Commander Cody, alongside the newly initiated Bad Batch, are out to go see if they can find Echo and stop the Separatists so they can move forward on Anaxis. It's a very interesting way of looking at things since Echo was believed to be dead after their assault on the Citadel when they tried to save a Jedi Master. During this time there was an explosion and we did see Echo's helmet fly across the screen, but there was no body. I didn't think anything of it at the time, being Season 3, I just figured all the clones would eventually end up dying off, and I was just thought, there goes Echo, one of my favorites from Domino Squadron. But seeing that Echo may still be alive in season for now at least is pretty great considering Domino Squad gave us some of the best clones that we had on screen. And I like this whole concept of them having to go see if he's alive, and they do find out that the call number that they're using is actually Echo's call sign and that he may still potentially be alive. This comes straight out of the Clone Wars Legacy, which was a panel that was shown at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim back in 2015, where Dave Filoni and a lot of the cast showed unfinished episodes for what would have been considered the final season of Clone Wars before it was I guess, postponed or canceled. And now seeing that they're coming back with, I think it's about 6 episodes for this final season, it does look like a majority of the story is coming from the unfinished episodes that we were already shown before. Now, whether or not it's going to be exactly the same, we don't know, because this is strictly from the arc between Echo, Rex, and Commander Cody and the Bad Batch. These were all mentioned during that panel at Star Wars Celebration. However, they didn't really go into too much detail on whether Ahsoka was going to be heavily involved. There was one unfinished scene with the 501st having Ahsoka's face paint on their helmets. That is supposedly coming back in the season, but there's a lot between her and Maul that is going to be discussed that hasn't been seen yet as of this episode. And there's still a little bit to figure out as far as what's going to happen between this and Rebels. I know this is going to lead directly into episode 3, so why are we worried about Rebels? But since Ahsoka Tano has no appearance in episode 3, is she going to get her white lightsabers in this? Because right now they're blue, which is very different from the 2 green ones that she had in the rest of the Clone Wars series. So how is that going to be changing, and what is the deal with Maul? Yes, he's become more of a prominent character in Clone Wars, which I love, but what does the involvement with Ahsoka have to do with this, and how bad is that going to get, especially in the Coruscant underworld? Overall, though, I am very intrigued and pretty pleased with what I'm seeing from this first episode of Season 7. The animation has improved drastically since I imagine the funding went up, but everything just looks so sleek. It's almost as if it's a movie quality, as not really compared to the Clone Wars movie itself, but you can just look at the animation styles from Season 1 throughout Season 6, and now with Season 7, they've really bumped up their game as far as you can really see a lot of upgrades in the detail from the characters' faces and their expression to their hair and what they're wearing, and that's something that's really catching my eye in this. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to, and I guarantee is probably going to happen based on how reckless the Bad Batch are, I do feel by the time this season is over, they are unfortunately going to go out in a blaze of glory in some fashion or another. It just seems like the proper send-off for a group of characters like this, or it could be completely wrong and they could continue past Season 7 and somehow be involved with Order 66 just from an off-screen perspective. But overall, I have nothing but great things to say about this first episode, and I'm probably going to feel this way about the rest of Season 7. But what do you guys think? Did you see the first episode of Season 7 for Star Wars The Clone Wars? Did you like the introduction of the Bad Batch, or do you think they should have focused more on Ahsoka and Darth Maul early on since there's only 6 episodes? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to talk about it. But until episode 2 comes out next Friday on Disney+, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more Star Wars videos, or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.